Hello and welcome back to the Amber Wave podcast.
As always, we are your hosts. My name is James. This is Stephen.
And so for anyone who doesn't know, or this is their first episode, we are a family-friendly supporters club for Great Yarmouth Town FC, who play in the Thurlow Nunn North Division, which is the 10th tier of English football. Great Yarmouth currently sitting second in the league and 2 points behind top, which is Framlingham in first place. However, we do have a game in hand.
But before we get into it, I just want to say, you may notice that Stephen is wearing and modelling a new t-shirt. It's a different Great Yarmouth shirt, and that is because the president of the club, Jack J, and the charity here, GYTCFCIC, have made some custom Amber Wave shirts. They display the club anthem across, as you will see. Are we human or are we bloaters? And yeah, it's a great shirt. We just want to say thank you so much for them. We love them. They're amazing. And if you want to buy one yourself, they are only £16 plus postage and packaging. And we will leave a link in the description of this video or podcast, so you can go get yours if you want to. Now, let's get into the second episode.
So, I guess first thing we talk about is this past Saturday, where Great Yarmouth Town took on FC Peterborough.
Yeah, it was second place versus 15th, but the league tables, as you know, mean nothing in football, as anything can happen.
Too right, and we always say anyone can beat anyone on any given day.
Coming into this match, FC Peterborough had only won 1 out of their last 5 matches, with Great Yarmouth having won all 5 out of 5. Those 5 games, Peterborough conceded 16 goals and scored 8, while Great Yarmouth conceded 9 and scored 15. So the stats leading in up to this game showed that there would be goals in this game. What did you think of the game, Stephen?
So, both teams started off really well. FC Peterborough had the ball in the net within a minute. The only unfortunate thing about that is that the Peterborough forward decided to try and rugby tackle our goalkeeper, Brandon Ling, into the net. It took the linesman flag for a foul, the referee to then go over to the linesman, a chat to the linesman to then rule it out. Not long after that, we went 1-0 up from a beautiful George Cousins header that beat the keeper at the near post. Peterborough then equalised fairly quickly afterwards, and it was a goal very similar to the one we saw on Wednesday against Whittlesea. After that, going into half-time, we were very, very lucky not to be 2-1 down, I think. I think you probably agree. At the stroke of half-time, the Peterborough player had a great shot and rifled off the post. Going into the second half is when we really started getting going again, a bit like Wednesday actually, where we just pushed on fantastically in the second half. Borough did have the best chance of the opening 10 minutes, which produced a brilliant save from Brandon Ling, and the follow-up from the Peterborough striker skied it over the bar from about 7 yards out and nearly ended up in the sea. After that, on the 65th minute, we went ahead again with a brilliant free kick that got to Cameron Barnes' head. But again, very similar to the first half. Not long after that, we were pegged back by 2-2 after a goalmouth scramble. Nestled the ball in quite nicely into the bottom left-hand corner. Leading into the last couple of minutes of the game, the King, Louis Duffield, scored with a great shot to the goalkeeper's bottom corner. Into injury time, there was a mix-up at the back for Borough. We were clearly through on goal. A cynical challenge brought down the Great Yarmouth player, clearly through on goal, and the Borough player who had already been booked and who was already on a yellow card, didn't get any further action taken. I'm not sure why. I think maybe they felt probably a little bit sorry for them, like so late in the game. But the penalty came in, we slotted it home, and there was absolute carnage around the ground with 251 fans extremely happy. James, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought first half, a bit like previous games, we don't really have the greatest of start. We're a bit giving away possession quite a bit. We're on the back foot quite a lot. So we're probably, like you said, we're lucky to be going in at half-time level. Otherwise, we probably could have been 2-1 down maybe. But yeah, second half, we came out. We started off a bit shaky again, but we probably around the 55th, 60th minute, we started properly getting going again. And then, we then were able to score the goals. We it went back to 2-2. We managed to get the 3-2, and then obviously with the penalty in the last minute, that secured the win.
So obviously no team is perfect, and there is teams that absolutely anyone can improve. It is going to be hard to think of them, but James, what do you think is something that we need to improve on the field?
I think since the Stanway game, I think that's really taken it out of us. I think prior to that we were comfortable in every game. We were scoring a lot of goals. We were winning by quite big margins. But I think that Stanway game, they're a really physical, aggressive side. We managed to obviously beat them 1-0, which was a brilliant, crucial win. But yeah, I think since then we have looked a bit shaky at times. Obviously we've been able to keep the streak of not losing going. We've been winning games, but it's been very close games. Like Whittersley, we scored late goal. Witten scored late goal, only won by 1 goal, but we scored goals. We also conceded a lot of goals. And similar to the Peterborough game, we looked a bit shaky, and then probably 55th, 60th minute, that's when we turned up again, which is a bit. You want to be turning up a bit earlier than that to really be ahead at that time. But yeah, we still managed to win, but I think we just need to be a bit more controlled of the game in times, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the last 3 games, so that would have been Whittlesey, Borough, and what was the game before that? Witten. Whittlesey, Borough, and Witten.
Yeah.
All of them games going into the 85th minute, we were drawing,
Yeah.
and we still managed to come away with a win. So that says a lot about the team. The only thing I would say is, it's not the most ideal going into that position where you're 2-2, 1-1 at that point in the game, because then
the pressure's really on.
The pressure's on, and how many times are we going to get away with it?
Yeah.
And we're not going to come away with that brilliant win.
Yeah.
You know who I miss?
Who's that?
Josh Ford.
Yeah.
I miss Josh Ford.
His long throws.
He is a Herculean man. He is built like Hercules himself. He's got the looks of the Adonis himself. He's got the throw of a prime Olympic javelin thrower. I'm very looking forward to when I'm seeing him back in the Yarmouth.
100%. So, our predictions for that game. I predicted a 2-1 win for Yarmouth. Stephen predicted a 3-2 win. And yeah, I thought... Yeah, we both thought we would score. Also conceded. But yeah, what about you? What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, 2-1 was the reverse fixture, so it was a very plausible outcome. And 3-2, I think I went 3-2 because following the season, Peterborough seemed to be scoring more goals as to Yarmouth. And I'll be honest, it very much looked like a 3-2 victory leading into that last minute where we got the penalty.
Yeah.
I think that big mix-up at the back, and for them giving the penalty, which... I just wanted to comment, the linesman initially gave the penalty, the referee looked over and then gave the penalty, which seemed to be sort of like a recurring thing throughout the game.
I was just surprised that there was no card for it either, because that looked to be last man-ish sort of thing.
Yeah, I believe it should have been a yellow, so I looked into it, and because it was... Even though he was last man and it was an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, there's a rule called the double jeopardy rule. Yeah. So if the player concedes the penalty, you can't have a straight red card, but it should be a yellow.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that the only reason, which it shouldn't be the case, but the only reason why he wasn't brandished a second yellow was because it's so late in the game and there was, less than a minute left?
Yeah.
Which... I can understand it, but I also can't understand it because you shouldn't have put yourself in that position to make the thing. But our predictions was very, very, very close. And we were so close for it coming in.
Yeah.
So I think we're going on to the next game, aren't we?
Yeah. So now that Peterborough is gone, we're now focusing on the next game, which is away to Haverhill Rovers.
Yeah. It's going to be a good game, I'm pretty sure. I won't be at the game, unfortunately. However, James has a possibility that he could be going to the game, and it definitely looks like it's going to be another brilliant match.
100%, and if the reverse fixture was anything to go by, then we are in for a big treat. The reverse fixture was one for the ages, and my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Yarmouth.
Ooh. You know, carrying on from the thought of we score goals, we also concede goals. Sorry, did you say 3-1?
3-1.
Oh, I'm going to have to choose something different, aren't I? I am going to say it is going to be a 3-2.
So pretty much the
Same as last week.
Yeah.
Same as last week.
Same as the reverse fixture as well, because that was 3-2.
Yes, that was 3-2 as well. So I mean, what are our predictions like? Our predictions weren't bad, were they?
No, they're fairly reasonable. They're fairly close, but the predictions are quite hard to get right all the time. But
I mean, if I did get predictions right every time, I'd be a professional gambler. Bet 365 every week, accumulators. But as you can see, that bet wouldn't have landed last week. It would have been close. I would have cashed out. But anyway, now it is time for our weekly competition. Currently, the scores stand at me 0 and James 1. Okay, so this week's competition, I am standing, and James is standing, behind my home bar. This week's game, it is called the Chubby Bloater Challenge. So, for anyone who doesn't know what Chubby Bloater is, you're about to find out. We have marshmallows. Nice little marshmallows. I went to the shop today and spent nearly £10 on marshmallows. Basically, the challenge is simple. Each of us will put a marshmallow in our mouths consecutively, and we have to say the word bloater. The winner of this challenge will be the one who can fit the most marshmallows into their mouth and say bloater. The loser will either give up or be unable to say the word bloater. You ready?
yeah, let's go.
Right, let's go. You won last week, so you can go first.
Bloater.
No chewing either. Bloater. Oh, that noise!
Bloater.
The noise. We need to keep shout at how many we're doing as well.
Yeah.
That's 2. Bloater.
Three. Bloater.
3. Bloater.
4. Bloater.
I don't know how the squirrels. Is it squirrels to do it?
Something like that, yeah.
Wait, what are we on? 4.
Oh,
So this would be my
your
4th.
fourth, yeah.
Aye. Bloater.
Bloater. 5.
Before we go any further, I should really say we do have a little pot here, so we can spit them out as and when we need to. This is my 5th. I'm running out of social, I know. Hang on, I've got to push it in. Bloater. I'm dribbling.
6. Bloater.
6. Bloater.
7.
Oh, that is so much quicker than I thought it would be. If I can eat all of these, do I get a bonus point?
Mate, no. You don't get a bonus point.
I don't know, bro.
Oh, Jesus. That was tough. I have no more room.
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to want lunch.
No, true.
Now, I thought you were going to do a lot better than that. 7!
Yeah.
7! I bought 6 packs!
That's on you.
I should have bought fucking... I should have bought blood 2.
Yeah, when you said you bought that 7 packs, I thought, how many do you think we're going to be big?
These are nice though. They're pound from Club. And they can double up as a hat. So, after that game, relatively short game, so it's going to be a shorter episode at least. After that game, I am the victor! Fantastic. I now draw a level. So the points are James 1, Stephen 1! Come on! We've been back joined with my beautiful dog Moon, who has just decided that James is her new best friend. So after that competition, this week scores are 1 apiece.
Now, after that, it is time for our weekly interview. And remember, we would love to interview anyone in regards to non-league football. And this week, we have a VIP guest and a fellow YouTuber, none other than the non-league wonders icon, Daniel Jones. And he has been speaking with Stephen.
Okay, I am here with the icon and YouTuber Daniel Jones from Non-League Wonders. We'll put his link to his channel in the description so you can check him out as well. So, how are you, Daniel?
Yeah, perfectly fine, you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. So, I've got a few questions for you. So this week on the interview, obviously we have DJ. Last week we had Alex. So, DJ, what made you start Non-League Wonders?
So, it was just after I went to my first non-league match back in Boxing Day a couple of years ago. It was Dis versus Yarmouth. Yarmouth won 1-0, by the way.
Of course.
Of course, yeah. Obviously, you had the Ruben Lane with that little dance as well at the end, winding the Dis fans up. But after the game, one of the Dis players at the time messaged me and he said, you should make some content about it. I originally made content for Norwich City, but that didn't work out well, so I thought, I'll try it. May not get as many views, probably like 50, 60 per video. Let's just say I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I saw last few of it. I think it's last 3 or 4 was all 400 plus. Am I right in saying?
Yeah, I'm averaging. I think it's the last 5, like plus 400 views per video, which is unbelievable at the moment.
Yeah, it's incredible. So as all your followers know on YouTube, you do have a real soft spot for the mighty Great Yarmouth Town FC. Why?
It's just so welcoming. Literally, every time I go to Yarmouth or any of the away days, you know, they're like, "All right, Danny, all right, Mr. Non-League Wonders," you know, absolutely just welcoming. You know, the players absolutely brilliant on and off the field. That's pretty much why I have a massive soft spot for Yarmouth.
It is yeah, I think me and Alex, the other co-founder of the Amber Wave, when we came, we sat up in the stand with Martin, and from him, everyone is so, even from Jack J, everyone down is fantastic.
Yeah, Jack was brilliant a few days ago as well. You know, spoke with us before the game as well.
But yeah, with the new shirts, I think we did a little segment earlier in the video. DJ's got one as well. Are we human or are we bloaters? From the iconic.
Fantastic, that is.
Yeah, from the absolutely iconic song "Human" by The Killers. We won't talk about the other Killers song that I hate, but so what has been your most iconic memory since starting Non-League Wonders?
I think we all know it. Definitely.
Enlighten everyone.
You probably know it. Definitely Yarmouth versus Norwich CBS when it was 6-3. Unbelievable game that was.
If anyone hasn't seen it, just explain in a little bit what happened.
So, it's the last, I think, 8 or 9 minutes of the match. Penalty for Yarmouth. It was 4-3 to Yarmouth at the time. Penalty for Yarmouth. Red card for the CBS goalkeeper. Penalty goes in, but it's been disallowed for double touch. Then around a couple minutes later, second penalty for Yarmouth, second red card for CBS, penalty goes in, 5-3. Half a minute later, 6-3.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing video. I was there as well, as you know. What a game that was.
That was the best game I've ever seen in my life, that is.
And next one, everyone sort of seems to get stuck when I ask the question. Everyone can say how amazing we are at scoring, at winning games. I mean, look at the run we're on. No team and nobody is perfect. So, what do you think Yarmouth could improve on in their game overall?
So, a massive thing that I've realised in the last few games is that there's been some sloppy passes going around in the midfield. So, obviously, need massive improvement on that. Also, some tracking back as well from the midfield players into defence as well. Has been a bit of an issue, leading to some easy goals being let in and all that. I mean, Witten United was a massive example of it.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we love Yarmouth through and through, and like we're not belittling or making up anything in any way, but there's always everything with improvement. It's always good to have that perspective of we're brilliant, like we won all these games, but if we are going to lose a game, it might come from that. If heaven forbid we lose a game, but odds are everyone loses a game every now and again. So where do you think Yarmouth will finish the league this season? And on to that next question, depending on what position you say, do you think that Yarmouth will get promoted?
Jesus. Definitely in a playoff position at least. Obviously, it's going to be a close one between Birmingham towards the end of the season. I want to see Yarmouth first.
Oh, you've gone very quiet there, DJ.
Oh, sorry. What did you pick up from that?
It's going to be tight between Framlingham and Yarmouth.
So yeah, I'd like to see Yarmouth go first, but I think they could go second. Just for the simple reason, goal difference.
And do you think that from second place, bear in mind that we're 22 points clear in the playoffs, and I think we're 8 points clear of third place. Do you think promotion?
Yeah, I'm feeling quite confident about promotion. Obviously, it goes to second and fifth in the playoffs. I don't see why we can't get into the final at least.
And I know this is the last question, so don't worry. But I know every player this season has played absolutely amazing. But if you had to pick one, which is your player of the season so far, who would it be?
Oh, God. I had two in mind at the moment. If I had to choose one of those two, I'm going to say Sam Adams.
I would say the same. Can you explain your reasons why?
Its defender as of recent has been unbelievable. He has made some absolutely massive tackles, massive blocks in the games. He's really, especially in Stanway, he kept Yarmouth in that game.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I don't know if you were privy to the conversation, but I'm pretty sure Sam Adams told me that last season or the season before, he was in the reserves as a striker.
Yeah.
As a striker.
Jesus, I knew he was in the reserves, but I didn't know he was a striker.
Yeah, but please, if Sammy, you're watching this, correct me if I'm wrong, but I am 99% sure he was a huge forward, a striker last season for the reserves, and has come into the first team as one of the best defenders we've ever seen.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable, especially some of the goals he's scored as well.
One goal in Sammy Adams, it does remind me of, is the Leiston game.
Leiston, yes, that was brilliant. That goal was. Obviously, the game in general was brilliant as well.
We can't talk about the Leiston game without talking about Duffy's 5 goals.
game, but most of the team was brilliant that game as well.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Dan, for talking to us, and we hope everyone enjoys the video, and we're going to go back to Stephen and James on my sofa.
Fantastic interview, and if anyone wants to appear, then just send a message to us on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah, our Twitter handle is @AmberWaveGY, and our Facebook handle is AmberWave.
And that is all we have time for this week. We hope you have enjoyed episode 2, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and we will see you at the same time next week for another show.
Oh.